Well, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to this edition of Lunchtime News here in MTV Sports with News First. I'm Shahan Jurangpati. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. 3 ships belonging to the Indian Navy arrive at the Colombo port for a training exercise. 9,500 dengue cases reported so far this year. Relatives and area residents mourn the loss of their loved ones from the Boston twin blasts. Newly elected board of officials for Sri Lanka cricket assume duties today. Here are the stories in detail. 3 training ships belonging to the Indian Navy arrived at the Colombo port for a training exercise. Navy spokesperson Commander Kosalawarna Kulasurya said that the Sri Lankan Navy will carry out training exercises with these ships. The ships that arrived today are due to leave the island on the 21st of this month. The Navy spokesperson added that among these ships is also a sailing ship used for training by the Indian Navy. Meanwhile, the Department of Fisheries notes that 10 Sri Lankan fishermen continue to remain in the custody of Indian officials. Assistant Director of the Fisheries Department, Lal De Silva, says that the arrested Sri Lankan fishermen are currently in Andhra Pradesh. The group that set out from Trincomalee were arrested after straying into Indian waters while fishing. Lal De Silva noted that steps have been taken to secure their release. Also making headlines today, the Ministry of Health notes that 9,503 individuals have contracted the dengue virus so far this year. According to the Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health, 3,347 dengue patients were reported during the month of January, while 3,038 dengue patients were reported in February. Now, there was a slight drop in the number of dengue patients reported in March, with the number standing at 2,753. The Ministry of Health notes that 365 dengue patients have been reported so far during the month of April. Now, the most number of dengue cases were reported from the Colombo district, with the figure standing at 2,234. 1,473 dengue cases were reported from Kurunegala last year, while 1,046 dengue cases were reported from Gampaha. Meanwhile, a youth was killed in a clash that broke out between 2 groups following a cricket match in the Watagoda area in Talawakale last evening.
An argument over the result of a cricket match that took place in the Madakumbura area in Watagoda led to a clash between 2 groups. The police say that an individual died when he was attacked with a wicket. The victim has been identified as 18-year-old Sukumar Parthivan, a resident of the Madakumbura Upper Division area. Our correspondent added that another youth who was injured in the incident was admitted to the Nuwareli base hospital. The police say that the suspects believed to be connected to the incident have fled the area. Incidentally, 2 houses in the area were also attacked by a certain group last night. According to our correspondent, security in the area was beefed up by this afternoon.
Meanwhile, a woman was killed with the use of a sharp weapon in the Thiruppane area in Mahakanamulla, Kakirava. According to the office of the police media spokesperson, the incident is believed to have occurred due to an extramarital affair. The suspect, who is the husband of the victim, is believed to have carried out the murder after arriving at the victim's house last night. The suspect, who was arrested in connection to the incident, is to be produced in court today.
Meanwhile, the body of an individual was discovered in the Berry Lake down Bastian Mawatha this morning.
According to the police, the body was discovered at around 3 a.m. following a tip-off. The deceased individual is yet to be identified, while the magisterial inquiry into the death will be carried out later today. The remains of the deceased are currently lying at the police morgue.
The newly elected board of officials for Sri Lanka cricket assumed duties today. The board of officials of Sri Lanka cricket for the next 2 years were elected yesterday. Newly appointed president of SLC Jayantha Dharmadasa as well as newly appointed secretary Nishantha Ranatunga arrived at the SLC headquarters today. The board of officials engaged in religious observances and rituals.
අලුත් අවුරුද්දේ කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරන්න සූදානම් වෙනවා. ගැනීමෙන් කරනු ලබන දේ මල් කඩා ගන්නට හරිවත්. මා මේ
ආලෝකයෙහි ප්‍රසාද
Thereafter, Jayanta Dharmadasa took up office as the president of Sri Lanka Cricket. And that wraps up our today's edition of Lunchtime News. Thank you very much for joining us. For News First, I'm Shanji Rangpati. Goodbye and take care.